Dave Palumbo with Palumbo's Pythons and Boas for another installment of Muscle Serpents University. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up your egg box. It's a question, a lot of people do different techniques. Stay tuned and find out what my new technique is. All right, we're here at my facility, Palumbo's Pythons and Boas, and a lot of people have asked me, because one of the videos I had posted, I showed my egg box in the incubator, and people were kind of interested in how I set it up, because I don't use hatch rite or perlite anymore. I have a new technique that I kind of adopted from some guys. I stole it from someone else. I didn't create it myself, but I stole it from a couple other people that I saw online, and it worked great. My problem was that whenever I would put my eggs into my egg box, and put it in the incubator with, hatch rite on the bottom, or perlite, or whatever people used, the media, for some reason, the last couple of clutches that would be in my incubator would dry out, and I lost some really important clutches. I lost some clutches of clowns, I lost some clutches of pies, and I wanted to blow my brains out. I know all of you out there probably have gone through something similar over your careers as reptile breeders, and I don't ever want that to happen again. So I figured out a solution of how to prevent things from drying out, and what it involves is the getting rid of the hatch rite, getting rid of the perlite, all that media you put in here, and go to sponges. Yes, sponges. Sponges you can buy in any convenience store. I got these, I think, on Amazon. You can get them in Walmart. They're just regular sponges. I take the sponge, and I usually cut it in half. And you can see the halved one here. And what I do is I get my egg box, I put the sponge on the bottom. Okay, as you can see, got my sponges on the bottom. Then what I do is I go and I buy this, I don't even know what you call this stuff. It's like for fluorescent lights. When you have in the ceiling, it kind of covers the light and diffuses the light that comes out. They come in big sheets. They sell them in Home Depot. And what I do is I cut them down so that they fit. Actually, my mother-in-law cut them down, Denise, so I got to give her credit on this one. We cut them down so they fit in the box perfectly. And if you get one of these big long sheets and cut them up, you almost get perfect amounts here. And once again, you could what I do is I count the squares. So, and I know exactly, I can duplicate this time and time again. And you can use a little hacksaw, you can use, actually I think my mother-in-law used scissors just to cut it, little clippers. And she snipped this down to size. You put this on here, and then what you do is you pour water into here. And you fill it up so those sponges are saturated. Okay, you want them to be saturated with water. And you put your eggs right on top of this egg crate, right here, right on top of this little grating. So the eggs never touch the wet sponges. But the wet sponges are so saturated that the egg box has tons of humidity in it, because that's what you want. You want humidity, but you don't want the humidity on the eggs. If the eggs get wet, they mold and they die. So that's not what you want. So that's why if you use like a perlite or a hatch rite and you add too much water and they get soupy, the eggs are done. Likewise, if it dries out too much, the eggs dry out and then they're done. So this is perfect because the humidity is always perfect. And what I found that when I did one clutch so far with this technique, what I found is about 30 days in, I added more water to the sponge, because I saw the sponges they weren't dry, but they were drier than when I first started. And there's no disadvantage to it. I just poured it right in on the little corner here, and they all filled up, the water spread, and I was fine. The eggs hatched, they actually hatched on their own. Usually I cut them at about day 56 or 7. These things hatched early even. I think they hatched on day 55 or 56, and there was no problems. The babies were super healthy. They ate after their first shed, and I'm hooked. This is my new technique. So once again, you put the sponges in on the bottom, and they don't have to be these sponges. They can be any sponges, but I like these and you don't want to have them. I guess you can make them thicker if you want, but this seemed to be the perfect size I found. You just cut these industrial sponges in half. Cut down your little grating, drop it in, eggs on top here. I put saran wrap on here, and then I close up my egg box. I don't use holes in my egg box. I know some people put one hole. I don't put any holes, but I vent them every 4 or 5, maybe every 6 days. Put this into the incubator and leave it. That's it. It's that easy, guys, and the humidity will be perfect. I put my temperature probe in here, so I know what the temperature is here at all times. and there's very little that can go wrong at that point. There's no dripping, there's no drying out, and like I said, you can always add water without the worry that the eggs are going to get wet. Hope you enjoyed this little tip. If you like these tips and you like these videos, subscribe to my page below. Also, hit like and put comments there, because if you put comments in the comment section, I will know what you guys want me to talk about next in my next video. Once again, thanks for coming here and joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Dave Palumbo with Palumbo's Pythons and Boas for Muscle Serpents University.